Hello, my name is Rami Unger, and I have autism spectrum disorder. I was recently contacted by my former disabilities counselor from Ohio State and my good friend Angie Hall. Hi Angie! Long time no see. And she asked me if I wouldn't mind giving my perspective on living past college in the working world, in the world of adults, with a disability. And I agreed because it's something I'm very passionate about. It's something that I deal with a lot in my work. Both jobs, actually, and I'll get into that in a little bit. I'm going to try to keep this short, 5 to 10 minutes, but we'll see. So, I have autism spectrum disorder, and I really didn't realize what that meant for me. I didn't even realize I had a disorder until I was in my late teens. I mean, I had the therapy, I sometimes had trouble in social situations. I still have trouble in social situations, but I didn't think of myself as different or weird or just someone with an actual mental disorder. I just thought that I might be a little different, eccentric, and I was cool with that. I didn't really think it made me that different. I mean, the world is full of weird people, with or without disorders. You only need to look at today's media. Some of our most celebrated people are just different. Lady Gaga, Kanye West, to some degree. They're just different from what we consider normal. And I started realizing that I was different in my late teens. My mother clued me into the fact that I was on the spectrum, and I didn't really think much of it at first. I mean, I mentioned it occasionally when it came up in conversation. I didn't see it as a big deal. But then I got to college and I started working with the Office of Disability Services, and that's where I met Angie, and I'm really glad I did because she has been such a great help to me in my life. She helped me navigate college and talk about issues I had and problems I had. She was there for me if I ever had an issue. And the Office of Disability Services helped me get some accommodations that helped me flourish in college. For example, if I needed it, I could have extra time on tests, or I could take those tests in a quieter location, supervised of course, but quieter. I didn't always need them. I very rarely did, but they were there for me should I need them. I also was able to get a dorm room with a bathroom to myself, which was a blessing, because if I needed quiet time to study or I just needed a place to cool off after a long day without anyone interrupting, I had that at my disposal, and that was a godsend. And after college, obviously I did the job search, and I thought I had a brilliant resume. I had great chances of getting picked up right after college, in addition to graduating with very good grades, with a bachelor's degree with research distinction in history and English. I had worked 2 jobs in college. I worked in the financial aid office for 4 years as a student employee, and I had done for 2 years at a job as a resident manager in an apartment building. And I'd also written and published several novels and short stories. I am a published horror and science fiction author. They're available on Amazon if you want to check them out. I would be happy if you did. And that was I consider that nowadays my second job after my primary job, the one that actually makes me a living, because unfortunately writing does not pay the bills, but it's my second job. It's what I love doing, and it does make a small, tiny income. But those did not help me as much as I thought they would. The job market, to say the least, is very difficult. Those of you who will graduate later on this year will probably realize this pretty quickly, that the job market is pretty difficult no matter the economic circumstances or what your abilities or otherwise are, or your skills or anything. But there was hope. I found out through NG, thanks again, that there was this program called the Workforce Recruitment Process, or WRP. And the WRP program is dedicated to helping students and recent graduates with disabilities find work with agencies in and out of the federal government. And I actually got to intern for 4 months in Germany with the U.S. Army, which was an unforgettable experience. I learned a lot, I got to see a lot, and I learned a new language. Ich sprechen Sie Deutsch ein bisschen. I speak a little German. And after that, the Workforce Recruitment Program helped me find a job with a supply organization known as DLA. And we have a number of clients whom we supply a variety of things to: food, work uniforms, even parts and programs. But what I do is I work in an HR position, and our organization, DLA, we employ a lot of people with various disabilities. And we're very proactive in making sure that disability doesn't get in the way of you doing a good job. So what my job often entails is helping those with disabilities get the accommodations they need in order to do their jobs. Mainly, I work with deaf or hard of hearing employees. If they have a meeting or some other appointment, or there's some sort of work function that they need interpreting for, I arrange for an interpreter to come on site and interpret for them. I also help process reasonable accommodations like certain software or sit-to-stand desks, and get those to employees after we go through a bit of a process, an RA process, reasonable accommodation process, where we determine what's needed and we get those RAs, those reasonable accommodations. And I very much love this work, and it's very fulfilling that I'm able to help these people do what needs to be done and make a living. And I'm surrounded by a great team. We're all used to working with people with disabilities. We do a lot of other stuff besides, but we're used to working with a diverse workforce, and these people are able to help me not only in social situations, which I still occasionally struggle with, but just if I ever have a question, they're willing to take the time to answer it for me, and I just love that about my coworkers. So while disability can be very difficult to live with sometimes, while it does occasionally impede living normally, it doesn't have to be a prison sentence. It doesn't have to ruin your life. I'm able to write novels and include unique perspectives partially because of my ASD. And I'm not going to say I'm proud of the fact that I have this disorder, but I am happy that it gives me this skill to see different perspectives, to allow in different voices that don't normally show up in horror and science fiction literature, and that allows me a degree of empathy with the people I work with, both in my actual job, my day job, and in this side job I have. Disability can really be an opportunity. You in the audience, or you on YouTube, who have a disability, you have this unique perspective. You know what it's like to live with something you never asked for, but you have it, and it can make life difficult sometimes. You know how sometimes people react when they find out you have a disability. They may look at you slightly differently. I call it the wide-eyed fish look that they sometimes get when they realize, like, oh my god, they have a disability. But it's not a prison sentence, as I said. You know that even if you have this disability, you are capable of amazing things. You can do things that others can only dream of. Sometimes you have this unique skill, like maybe math or writing or art. Sometimes it's just empathy. And sometimes it's the ability to go in and do an amazing job, whether it's at the office or at home or out having fun. You're able to do something amazing. And it just wows everyone. And in that moment, your disability doesn't matter. You're just you, and you did something great. And I think that is something we should all keep in mind. Disability is not something horrible. It's not, well, in a way, it's something we could live without, I'm sure, but it is not the end of the world. It has opportunity in it. And I think that is something to keep in mind, that even if you have to live with something that you never asked for, you can still make the most of it. And I hope you take that away from here today. I live with a disability, but it does not impede my life. It actually opens up doors. And I hope, whether or not you have one, and for those of you who don't, you might have a disability someday. The probability does increase with age, and you never know. It's just a fact of life. But I hope you come away today thinking that even if you do have a condition that you never asked for, it's not going to make you a shut-in, and you're never going to go out and you're just going to be miserable all the time. That you will work on improving yourself, that if there is something you struggle in, you will work to improve it, and you will go out there and make a difference and do what you love and find some sort of happiness, and just let people know that even if you have a disability, you're still capable of being amazing. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and have a nice day.